Welcome, I'm Jennifer Raye, and in this video I'm going to discuss the Ren and the Du meridian according to traditional Chinese medicine. Sometimes these meridians are called the conception vessel and the governing vessel. So this is a part of a larger series where I'm exploring the location of all of the meridians in the body in Chinese medicine. So make sure to check out some of those other posts and those other videos for more information. You'll also want to check out the blog post associated with this video where I go into a little bit more detail around some of the acupressure points and the application for you in your yoga practice and just in your life. Within traditional Chinese medicine, we usually start by talking about the meridians of the 12 primary channels. These are the meridians that are related to each of the major internal organs. After the primary channels, there are the extraordinary meridians, and this is where the Ren and the Du are. Now, oftentimes we end up talking about the Ren and the Du when we refer to the primary channels because the Ren and the Du still have acupressure or acupuncture points. The other extraordinary meridians don't have points of their own. So the Ren and the Du are the central channels. The Ren runs up the front of the body generally, and the Du runs up along the back line of the body. So in this way, the Ren and the Du are different than the primary channels. The primary channels related to each of the organs, they run on both sides of the body. So the Ren and the Du instead run up through the midline. Now, one of the interesting points about the Ren and the Du is that actually each of the channels have internal pathways that run up along the opposite side of the body. So for example, the Ren channel begins at the uterus in females and the lower abdomen in males, and it emerges at the perineum. From there, it travels up along the front line of the body, right through the center of the body, all the way up where it terminates just below the lower lip. The Ren, though, also has an internal pathway. So from the pelvis, it actually loops under and connects to the spinal column, and then it travels up along the back line of the body, that internal pathway. It also connects internally to a number of organs. Now, the Du channel starts at the lower abdomen as well, and it travels all the way up along the back line of the body. It loops over the head, and it finishes just above the upper lip. That's the primary channel. Now, the Du also has an internal channel that runs up along the front line of the body. It also connects with a number of internal organs. So in this way, it's very similar, these two channels, the Ren and the Du, are very similar to other systems that talk about a central channel. So the microcosmic orbit, for example, or the Sushumna Nadi are very similar in some ways to the Ren and the Du channel. Remember, the Ren is considered the Yin meridian. It lies on the front of the body, the Yin side of the body, and the Du meridian runs along the back line of the body, and so it's considered the Yang meridian. There are many points along these channels that can be helpful, but first, just overall, these channels can be helpful for local problems to begin. So for example, if you had some spinal issues, using points along the Du meridian could be helpful. But they're also helpful for internal organ issues. So both channels have a lot of connections to the major organs of the body. And so we oftentimes end up using the Ren and the Du channels to access or to support the internal organ system. For the Ren channel in particular, I wanted to point out Ren 4. So you can find Ren 4 by taking 2 thumb widths just below your navel, and there you'll find Ren 4. This is in the area of what's called the cinnabar field in Chinese medicine. This is a particularly important area in the Eastern healing arts. This is something called the Dantian. This is an area that is thought to hold and contain much of our deep energy reserves and power. And so when we use Ren 4, we're able to tap that energy, support it, and build it. As well, when we're looking at the Du meridian, there's a very similar point at Du 4, which lies just below the spinous process of the second lumbar vertebrae. And so you'll find the point there for Du 4. And in a similar way, this is a really helpful point to support the body overall. And so one of the ways I like to use and work with Du 4 is just keeping the lower back warm. It can be very supportive for the overall tonification and support of the deep essence or deep qi in the body. So that should give you a little idea of the Ren and the Du meridian, these central channels according to traditional Chinese medicine. Do make sure to check out the blog post where I've included a little bit more information for you to explore. And make sure to get over to my site at jenniferraye.com, and you can sign up for my mailing list there where I send out lots of really helpful resources around combining Chinese medicine and yoga. You may also be interested in some of the courses that I offer, and you can find those over at jenniferrayecourses.com. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you very soon.